Hello. That was a false start, as they say in football. Can you? Oh, I can hear myself twice, so I'm going to mute this. Okay, here we go again. Let's take two. I tried this at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock here, and I had some settings messed up. There's a lot to try to process as I'm doing this. These live streams are a little more complicated than I'd like them to be. But thanks for dropping in. If you're here watching live, if you're watching this on the replay, then I probably will have deleted all the problems that I had to get here. So, yeah, so this is week 2 of every Tuesday having a live stream on this channel. What I want to do is become more regular with my posting of videos and with my live streams, and I want to make myself as available as I can to all of you who want help making your Camtasia videos better. Again, I'm Rob the Maritimer, and I'm in Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada. And if you're watching here, why don't you introduce yourself and let me know where you're watching from. I'd be very curious. I'll try to make this interactive as possible. Let me just check the chat here. We've got Casa Giovanna Acapulco. Yes, hello from Acapulco, Mexico. Hello, Acapulco. That's awesome. I suspect you are having much better weather than we are up here. It's not snowing here, but it's kind of rainy today. So yeah, it's not great, but sunny Acapulco. I've never been to Acapulco. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Cancun, but not Acapulco. So welcome. And Renee Rosendahl, hello from Denmark. Hello, Renee. I remember you from last week as well. Thanks for stopping in again. Glad to have you here. So yeah. So and as people drop in, if you just want to give a quick chat, a quick hello, that would be great. And also let me know what you're most interested in learning. What I've posted, what I planned on doing today, is a couple things, and I've got a little something here prepared. The first one is clone yourself video. I just wanted to go over that video. That I made a video. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but about 3 days ago, I made a reel that I put on Instagram, but also short. So I made it as a YouTube short, posted it on Instagram and also on TikTok. And I cloned myself. So there were at one point there were 3 of me in the shot. And I was just kind of having fun with the background removal tool in Camtasia, and just wanted to see if I could, I had an idea in my head if I could make it happen, and it worked out fairly well. So I'm going to go over how I did that. And then once I've done that, the plan is to talk about how I make YouTube videos with Camtasia. I think most people, well, I shouldn't say most, I don't really know, but I'd be interested in hearing from you what you use Camtasia for. So you can let me know in the chat, or again, if you're watching this on the replay, let me know in the comments. Do you use Camtasia to edit videos for making training type videos mostly? Or do you do more than that? Do you make full videos, say, for YouTube or other platforms? I'd be interested in knowing. Camtasia was developed with screen captures and teaching in mind, but it has evolved into quite the little video editing software as well. So that's good to see. If you're interested, I use Camtasia. I got my start with Camtasia making training videos, making tutorial videos, and I've made lots of those over the last more than 10 years. But I've also made YouTube videos. In fact, the last several YouTube videos I made with Camtasia. I would say 90% of the videos I've made on my channel, I used Camtasia to make. So yeah, you can totally make YouTube videos with Camtasia, no problem at all. I will show you how I do that. And real quick, I'll just show you the steps that I go through to do that, just to let me just open this right up here. So there's the high level synopsis of the things that I do to make my YouTube videos. I script, come up with a script and an idea at first. Then I film the intro and the ending. I'll go through this a little more detail. Then the next thing is I film the middle part, like the actual tutorial part of the video. Then I edit it all together, and then I export it and upload it to YouTube. So that is the high level overview of what I do to make YouTube videos. And it's a different process than when I make tutorial videos. When I make tutorial videos, I don't put myself in them. Some people do. Like, you can have yourself in like in a little round corner, much like this here. I'm just showing you my screen here. So as you can see here, I'm down in the lower part of the screen in a little circle mask, and you can make tutorial videos like that. And I can do that live as well. Now, doing this live. I'm not doing it in Camtasia. I'm broadcasting live using software called OBS, and with OBS, I'm showing my Camtasia screen. So that's what I'm doing right now, and so yeah, I don't put myself in my tutorial videos, but I do put myself in my YouTube videos. So I'll kind of go through that process as well. Again, let's just a quick little recap. So this past week, when I was here last Tuesday, I said the intention is going to be for me to make more videos more often, to post to my channel and to go live once a week. So going live, this is the second week in a row I've done that. In terms of posting more videos, I did that as well. So last week, I had posted a video on Monday. And that I posted 3 videos, I believe, since 2 videos since I went live. So just quickly here, just look. Yeah, so last Monday I came up with I posted the pro level animations video, which has gotten some good traction. And then 2 days later, so the day after my live stream, I posted a play it backwards video where I kind of showed you how to reverse videos in Camtasia. It's kind of a neat little trick there. And then on Friday, so 2 days later, last Friday, I posted remove background video. And that was kind of cool. And that's what I then kind of had some fun with when I made the cloning video. I kind of took it a step further and did that. Now, so yeah, I posted 3 videos last week. I have 2 more videos already queued up and ready to go. I've edited them, they're uploaded to YouTube, and I've just scheduled them so they come out. One was going to come out on Thursday, so in 2 days, and then the next one, the Monday, so next Monday. But I think I'm going to move Thursdays up to tomorrow. So we'll post that tomorrow morning so that you'll be able to see that. And that's kind of a cool one because I go over how to color grade in Camtasia, something that a lot of people may not know that you can even do. There's a lot of talk about, oh, we got to go with Premiere Pro or DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro to get into some serious color grading. And granted, you can do more color grading with those softwares, but in Camtasia, it's really kind of cool what you can do, and I can show you the difference. Actually, I will just a little teaser here. Let me just bring this up. My color grading, which you can't see yet. You can't see this yet because I haven't released the video yet. But here, I'm just going to bring this down and show it on my screen. There you go. So that is the thumbnail of the video that's coming out tomorrow. So just a little sneak peek, and you can see the difference that the color grading can do. The before picture is what I actually looked like straight out of this camera, and it's a great camera. And actually, if you didn't see the more saturated, the better colored version on the right, if you didn't see that right beside it, you'd think that it looked great. But in reality, there's a lot more you can do in Camtasia to make it look even better. So I'm going to show you in the video that's getting released tomorrow morning how you can take your your videos shot, whether it's shot with a good camera like I did, or even with an iPhone. And I say it like that. iPhones are actually great cameras, the newer versions. I have the, what's over here, the 14 Pro Max, and it's a fabulous camera. But even if you have an older camera, older phone, or just an older camera, you can still use your footage from that and make in Camtasia and make it look better. So in the video that I post tomorrow, I show you how to do that on 2 cameras. I go through it, doing it on my on this Sony camera and also on my iPhone. So look for that, and perhaps you can learn something there. So again, tomorrow, tomorrow I think 10 a.m. my time. So what's that? It's early in the morning on the West Coast. It'll be about 9 a.m. Eastern time is when the video will come out. So look for that. Yeah, so, and in addition, I have another video, and what one was that? I've got another one already done and ready. It's going to release on Monday, and it is, what is it called? Syncing audio with video. So let me just show you that one. I mean, you're not going to get a whole lot just from seeing that, but there you go. That's the thumbnail for that one that will be coming out on Monday. So I just go through the process that I go through when I sync audio to video and the screen. So especially if you record them all separately, which I do, Camtasia gives you the ability to record everything together. You can record your camera and your screen and your audio, all of that together. And if you've got if you're set up to do that, and that helps your process, and you just want to make them quick, it's awesome. It's a really neat system. And then you can take advantage of Camtasia's Rev to have everything kind of pre-set. It'll automatically round your corners, put your face in a mask down in the corner or whatever. It's pretty slick. But I'd like a little bit more control myself when I make these YouTube videos. So I record the 3 things separately: the audio, video, and the screen. I record them all separately, and then I sync them all up in Camtasia, and then I edit everything. Take out the jump cuts, or take out the dead space by adding jump cuts, and things like that. So I'm going to go through that on the video. That one will come out on Monday. So the idea here is I've got a system now in place. It's working fairly well, that I can make these videos fairly quickly on quick tips on how to do things in Camtasia. Well, in anything really, but my focus right now is on Camtasia. So going to come out with more and more videos like this. I can make 2 of these videos in a day. So as long as I have some time, and I'm going to try to schedule them out in advance. So definitely going to do 2 videos a week, sometimes maybe 3. Last week it was 3. This week it'll be 2, even though I have 3 ready. I have to give myself a little bit of leeway. But by the end of this week, I hope to have 2 more made. So if there's anything that you want to see me make a video on, let me know. Either in the chat right now, or if you're watching this later, in the comments. Let me know what you want to see me teach in Camtasia, and I'll make a video on that. Okay, so that's the plan going forward. And then every Tuesday I'll come back here live, and we can talk about the videos I came out with, or the ones that are coming up, how I did certain things. That's the other thing too. So this reel that I made over the weekend with me cloning myself, every once in a while I'm going to make reels as well. I call them reels. I should be calling them shorts because we're on YouTube right here. But a YouTube short, the vertical videos, the short ones. I'm going to make those periodically. Typically, they will be from my long form videos. So, for example, the clip speed video that I came out with yesterday, showing you how to do slow motion. I'm probably going to make a reel on that, just a short 15-second quick hits, trying to keep people's attention, which is hard to do on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Just kind of basically advertising the fact that I'm making these long tutorials on YouTube and trying to get more followers coming from those other platforms. So you may see me come up with those as well. So yeah, so before I get into the clone, I'll just go back up there, the clone yourself video. Let me just quickly check the chat, and I see Nitin Barty says, "Hi Rob, I like your Camtasia editing tutorials." Thank you, Nitin, very much, and thanks for stopping by. Hello. Let me know where you're watching from. That'd be interesting to know. Always like to hear where people are watching the live stream from, where you're tuning in from. Again, I'm in Canada, East Coast Canada, so on the Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is literally 30 feet from my window here. And maybe in a future live stream I'll show. Well, hell, I could show you right now. Let's do this. I'll show you where I'm at. So this is my iPhone that I have set up. If I just come up here and open the curtain, that's my backyard. And that is the Atlantic Ocean. How's that? So that's how close we are to the Atlantic Ocean. Thought you might be interested. So, yeah, but I keep these curtains closed to try to keep the light out, and just to try to keep control of the lighting situation in here. It makes the videos better and whatnot. So, yeah, that's where I am. Nitin Bardi, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Nitin. I'm watching from India. Welcome from India. So we have India, we have Mexico, and we have Denmark in the house. Awesome. Thank you very much for stopping by. That's great. Okay, so enough of me just talking. That was about 15 minutes or so. So let's get into this clone yourself video. So I made a video, and I used the background remover tool. Let me show you my screen. So this is my Camtasia project where I made this video. Now, let me just, you can see that? Everybody can see that okay? I think so. Let me just adjust some things here. So what I've got, let me just play this first so you can see. This is the first, so I made it twice. This is my first version. So if you've seen it, you may have seen the YouTube short that's on my channel. And that, let me just pull that up right quick. YouTube shorts, and there we go. Let me stop that, bring it down here. Okay, this was it. I don't know if you can hear that. I might have the volume off. Now you can see a little bit of artifacting there. Okay, that's the cloning video that I'm talking about that I made, and then yeah, so there's a couple things going on here. Let me just close this now. So you've seen this. So there's two copies of me on the same screen at the same time. There wasn't two of me, by the way, and now three. Okay, so anyway, that's that. Let me just move that around. So yeah, so here is the first thing that I did. I opened Camtasia. Actually, the first thing I did is I filmed myself, and I filmed myself 3 times. Okay, so what I did first is I filmed this, and I'm gonna bring this down onto the screen so you can see it in its raw form. Let's just bring it over here. Okay, so this was the first thing I filmed. Clear my throat. So I had an idea in my head what I was going to do. So in my head, I had a conversation going on with myself. I knew what I was going to say. What do you mean? I'm editing videos. Okay. Okay, so that's that. Then I stopped the camera. So that's the first one that I did. Okay, and then what I did is I filmed another take. Let's bring that one down here, and let's just stretch this out here. I want to make sure you can see this all. Okay, and this, so I stood up. I put my chair back in the same place where it was when I was sitting at this chair here. And then, yeah, because this video was gonna, I didn't even know how I was gonna do this. I had to do there was some trial and error. So this video ended up being the base video where the background was kept. That first video that you just saw, this video here, this is the one I removed the background from, okay? So now let's go back to the base video. And it all depends. You have to think about which one is going to be in front of the other. So in this case, that one there, me sitting at the desk, was going to be the foreground, okay? So me in the foreground. So the background, let me just see here. If you see here, this is the actual video. So the background, so see my hand here is in front of this copy of myself. So this had to be kind of the background. This, I had the background removed so I could put just me in front, if that makes sense. So let me just show you. So let's unhide this. And my second video was this one. So I was setting things up on the computer. And I just went over and patted the cat. And this whole time I had already recorded the other one. So I knew what I said, and I tried to keep that in my mind.
I'm editing videos.
Oh, sorry. You're hearing the audio from the one beneath. Here we go.
What are you doing?
And right there, I looked at roughly where I thought my face would be, or was, when I was sitting down. So it's funny. It could take a lot of trial and error to do this, but this is actually my first take. So I may try to do some more of these, and hopefully they get even better.
What are you doing?
At this point, I really didn't know what to say, so it's like, okay, yep. And I walked away. Patting the cat again. Didn't know how much of that I was going to keep, but now I'm coming back to shut off the camera. All that would be cut out. Okay, so that's the second one that I took. Now the third one, which was this one, just making sure you can still see what I'm doing here. Let me just hide that. Yeah, the third one was this one. So for the very end, I wanted to, and I ran into a couple troubles here. So at the very end here, and this is a little too long. I wanted my face to come in from the side like that. But can you tell that I'm a little bit out of focus? And that's because the camera was focused here. But when I left the view, the camera has autofocus and it's focusing on my open door back there, right? So now a quick fix to that would have been, I should have turned my autofocus off and had it focused on, well, had it focused on me here, right? But I didn't do that. Instead, I kind of tricked the camera. And I did a bunch of takes of this. See, I noticed I was not in focus. See, that didn't work. So still not in focus. But you can see there it auto-focused on my face, okay? Now again, that's a function of the camera you have. You may, again, I could have turned off autofocus, I didn't. And maybe if you have a camera, if you're using a camera that doesn't have autofocus on it anyways, this would not have been a problem. So at that point, I thought I had to move myself closer to it. They're still not in focus. So then what I decided to do, yeah, see what I did there? So I waited till it focused on me right there. And then I went out and in really quick, okay? Hoping that the camera's focus would remain where it was when I was there. So it's focused now. Go out of frame and in fairly quick. And that kind of worked. Went out of focus there again. It just took me several takes to actually get something that worked. That might have been, oh no, the focus left there. I was going to say that might have been the one that worked. Not in focus there. I think that's the one I used. Okay, so the bottom line is when you're making videos, especially when you're doing something as specialized as this, there's going to be a lot of it that you're cutting out and not using. So I hardly used any of that. In fact, if you look at my project now, I'll unhide these. This whole, this C0407, this whole clip that I just did, that ended up being this one. Okay, that's all that I used of that clip. Okay, now so let's just watch this. So yeah, I'll leave those here. Let's just move these down the line a little bit so they're kind of out of the way. Now here is the project, the actual video that I made. Let's just watch this through. So I added some music, that's down here. What happened there? So again, this was my base. That's the second take that the second scene or scene that I shot, the 405 one, and I'm using that as the full background. Then, so a couple things going on here. You heard that sound effect? That was this here that I'm highlighting now. That's a sound effect. This one here that I got off of Motion Array. So I just downloaded that and I used that. And I searched for several things that I thought might sound good. And then I downloaded that. And then it's just a matter of what makes sense. Where do you want to put it? So obviously too late. So then I thought if it was right at the beginning, that didn't happen. That happened too soon. So anyways, trial and error, that's where it ended up working the best for me. So I put it there. And then this scene here, a couple things that I did. First of all, if you go up here, you can see what I've added. First of all, I added color adjustment. So again, I'm going to talk more in depth about that. You'll see it tomorrow. That's the video that I'm coming out with tomorrow, how to color grade this. Well, actually, I can show you the difference though. If I have that highlighted and I come up here, if I turn this off, watch what happens when I uncheck this. See? And watch what happens when I check it again. So what I did is that to me looked like it didn't look like I belonged in the shot, if that makes sense. I was too bright. So I did some correction. I added, or I took off some brightness. The contrast and the saturation I left the same, but the brightness is -11. So normally it would have been up there at 0. So you can play with these things until you find what looks the best. Trial and error is all it is. So color adjustment effect was added, and the background removal effect was added. And again, I made a video about that, which less than a week ago, so last week. And you'll be able to see it if I actually take this clip and move it. See, there's no background because I removed it. Now, it was important that I put it, I mean, my camera's on a tripod. Well, it's on a desk clamp thing that basically is in the same place for all of the shots that I took. And that's a really important part. You can't do something like this if somebody else is holding a camera for you. You really have to put it in a place that's not going to move from shot to shot to shot, right? That's the only way this can work. So, yeah, so I shot that. I removed the background. I adjusted the colors that make it look a little better, and I added that sound effect. Now, if we highlight this in track 5 here, this is the, which one is this now? That's,
What do you mean?
okay. This is the one, again, that this is the audio of this video, if that makes sense, okay? So it's the audio. It's not the audio that was captured by my camera. It's the audio that I captured separately, and that's why it's on a separate track. And I enhance the audio and whatnot, which I'm going to make a video on what I do to do that as well very soon. But you can see what I've done with the audio. I made sure, because I think there must have been, if I go up here, yeah, there was a couple things going on here in the audio that I just wanted to remove. So I added some audio points. You do that, you right click here, add audio point. I added a couple of those to make sure there was, I completely silenced the audio until I appeared, right? And then I had the audio, I think I even increased it. Oh no, still at 100%. Yeah, so that's the second part of this. One thing I forgot to mention, if we look at the audio of the first clip, this clip, like this one here that includes all the background, this was the audio for that one right here. And you can kind of see what I did here. So again, I removed the audio from the beginning. Let's just see what that was. Yeah, just a couple of... just me getting set up. I wanted to remove that. I wanted you to be able to hear the background music more. So I got rid of that. The background music, you can hear it. It's just right there. Now, as soon as I appeared here, I also brought the volume up on that first clip. Okay, but I lowered it. So if you look, it's down to about 32%. And that was, the reason I did that is just to make sure the mixing between what I was saying here in this clip and what I was saying here in this clip, I wanted to make sure that it sounded all right. Like you don't want one sounding louder than the other. You want it to sound like a conversation you're listening in on from where the camera is, right? So since the audio from the two different versions of me were coming from two different places, you have the ability to independently adjust those volume levels. Okay, so now you can see when I say something, you can watch the audio waveforms.
What are you doing? What do you mean?
Here,
What are you doing?
here.
I'm editing videos. Okay.
Okay, so that is that. And now the last part was this. This one I did not record audio because this was actually an afterthought, adding this third one in. I just thought it was funny to add a third one in. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Let's just kind of watch that. Okay, so for that one, what I did, let me just expand on this. Background removal. Okay, so again, there's, whoops. I have to hide that one. Well, there, that's hiding the back one, so you can see that the background was moved from both of these copies. Okay, kind of gives you a better idea. So I removed the background from that, and then I also did a color adjustment on that one as well, just to make it, I wanted to be a little bit darker because I'm a little further away. This version of me in the middle is closest to the main light, so it should be a little bit brighter, right? So yeah, so that's how I did that. Let me just kind of delete these because I just added those to show you, and then there we go. So yeah, let me just quickly check the chat here. Renee Rosendahl says, "Nice work." Thank you, Renee. It was fun. I enjoy this, so I thought it was fun to do that. The next step, though, was once I made this, and I showed my wife, I showed my kids, as like, hey, look what I did, and they thought, hey, that's pretty cool. So then I thought, oh, why don't I make a reel, or why don't I make a YouTube short out of this? So then what I did then is I created another Camtasia project. I made a copy of this one, and then I renamed it. This one was called Clone Test. The other project, which I'll show you now, is called Clone Test Reel. Let me open that up. Here it is. You can see that? Yeah. So, okay, there's a lot more going on here. Again, I started with the same base that we created in the other project, okay? And I added a bunch of things. It's going to be hard to show everything here, but I'll do my best. So, okay, if you notice here at the very bottom, I've got the music track muted. The reason that is because the last version of this, I exported two versions of this, one with music and one without. The one with music is for YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, because you can put your own royalty-free music in those. And I would, not sure where I got this piece of music from. Oh no, it was MA, so that was also Motion Array. That's royalty-free music. It's free to use. There's no royalties involved or anything like that. It's safe to use. But for TikTok videos, um, you have the ability to add trending music to your videos when you upload them. So for TikTok, I don't add royalty-free music. I export it without music, and then when I do the uploading, I add TikTok's music to it. So it's just an extra step. That's why this is muted right now, but let's take that off mute. The bottom several, I'm going to try to expand on this now just to kind of show you. So you'll recognize the bottom several here as being, and that one, and this sound effect, that you saw all in the other project file, okay? The difference is in this project file, now we're creating a video vertically, okay? So to do that, everything's got to be resized, and it took a little playing around to get everything in the right place. So if you notice when if I put the playhead here, this is where it started, okay? Do you kind of see the boxes as to where all of the individual, ignore these smaller ones. These smaller boxes are, oh no, sorry, don't ignore those. Those smaller boxes are the actual what's going on. Let me see here. Hello, Kermit Rice, Los Angeles. Thanks for stopping in. Welcome. There's one other thing I had to do here. Let me just, if I hide this, no, not that one. This one, there. That one I added because, well, that was just a matter of preference. So I could have created the reel like this, okay, with black up here and black on the bottom. I couldn't stretch out the full width video to make it as tall as vertical videos are, because then I wouldn't have seen myself here or the one that coming in on the other side, right? So I had to keep it relatively small, and because of that, you're going to wind up with colored bars. In my case, black, because my background here in project settings is set to black, okay? So you get these black bars. What I think looks better than just black bars is having a blurry version of your main video extending up above and below, okay? So that's what this was. If I unhide this here, you can see it's a larger version of this one, the one that had the background, the version of me that had the background in it. That's the only one I made larger. I didn't worry about doing it with this one. So by doing that, you can kind of see how it's blurry here at the bottom and at the top. So I just think that looks a little bit better. It fills the screen more, right? So once I put that in place, so I put that underneath everything, and then the next thing on top of that, I add a blur, okay? So if I turned that blur off, see, the blurriness is gone. You can really notice it here. You can see my leg here, my shoulder here. The blurriness is gone. But if I add a blur layer right there, a track with just a blur, and that's something you just find up in annotations under this teardrop icon here, right here, that's a blur effect, okay? And you drag that down. Not an effect of a clip. It's like a call out. You put it on its own track. So I blurred the whole thing, and then on top of that, I put the other videos. Now, I left the audio tracks below. That's fine. They can be wherever. I usually keep the audio on the bottom just to kind of try to keep some sort of organization to everything. So I've got my music here, the audio track from clip 1, the audio track from clip 2. Okay. Now I do have a sound effect up here. Perhaps I could have brought that down, but again, it doesn't matter where you put the audio. Whatever makes sense to you, whatever allows you to keep things organized. And then here is that version of me sticking my head into the side. So in order to catch everything, so I started the scene here. You can see where the box, let's highlight that one. Oh, that's the big one. So this one and this one kind of at the same place, right? So you can see the box of where that is there and here. You see these animations? So these are animations here, here, and here. because the scene was moving, I needed the scene to move. So if I left things here, this is where I had to frame the shot in order to see this copy of me and this copy, okay? But eventually the third copy of me is going to peek my head in, but it's going to be way over here. It would not have been caught. So what I did is I added this animation that shifted everything slowly over to the right. Now, if I highlight this while this is playing, you'll be able to see it move. Watch. Slow animation. Okay, so when it's there, that's enough to be able to see the third version of me come in here. Whereas had I not done the animation, you wouldn't have been able to see that, and you also wouldn't have been, like if I started here, right, you wouldn't have seen the very beginning of it where I was over patting the cat, right? So that's why I added that animation. And I added it once here, and once I had the properties exactly the way I wanted it to, I just copied and pasted that animation from this clip. So Control C or Command C on a Mac to copy it, and then I put it here, I pasted it there, and then down to this larger one, I pasted it there too, because obviously I want, if the background's going to move, I want the entire background to move, all versions of it. So both copies that are superimposed on each other and also the blurred background, I had it move as well. Okay, so that's that. Then, so for YouTube Shorts, you generally want to have some text explaining what's going on. So that's what all these other ones are up here. It's all text. So I added callouts. So there's this one, editing tricks in Camtasia. Then there's that one, clone yourself. I'll skip over the group. Then there's this one, YouTube live stream tutorial, Tuesday at 1 p.m. And then the group, I can expand it to show you. It's basically, there's two clips in there. There's the YouTube logo and then my YouTube channel name. So, and I can click there so you can see what's in there. You can see the two things in the group. Okay, and I had them showing up for the entirety of the video. Now, one last thing I wanted to show you here. If I had the video just start here with this scene, perhaps there wouldn't have been very much interest in it. Okay. One little extra thing that I did just to try to generate some more interest is to show the very ending of it at the very beginning, but only for like a split second. I think it was, 20 frames. And this is or 20 seconds, sorry, for about, 0.2 of a second. I can zoom in here and show you. Right here. See, so that's really the ending, and then it starts. And you might have noticed that before if you watch YouTube Shorts or Reels or TikToks, that when you first start watching it, it might kind of hiccup. You see the very ending, and then it goes to the beginning. It's kind of a tricky way or a neat way to very quickly tell somebody or show somebody what they're about to see, and then show the whole thing from the beginning. Just psychologically, I think it's a way to try to get people to watch the entire clip, right? And this is a little bit on the long side for short form. That's funny for me to say that. It's only 25 seconds long, but in talking to my kids who are on TikTok all the time and Instagram, a lot of times if they're not interested in a video 2 seconds into it, they've swiped away and they're on to something else. So it's really important to try to grab people's attention right away. So that's why I added that at the beginning. Now, how did I do that? Very easy. I just went to the very end here, and I'll actually do it here just to show you. I highlighted everything. Now I'm going to have to stretch this up so I can see everything. It's easier that way. I highlighted. I don't have to worry about the music, although it looks like I did. Everything. And then I use the split command to split it all like that. Then I zoom in, Control C to copy it all. And this is happening kind of behind my face here. Control V to paste it all. So there you go. I created a copy of that. And then I can Control C, copy that, right? Go right back to the beginning. Can add a little bit of space here. I'm just holding down Shift as I'm dragging the playhead. That creates some space here. And then put the playhead back here. Control V, paste it all at the very beginning. So that's how I did that. And then I shortened it up. So that's how I did that. Now, just so I don't mess anything up, I'm going to kind of back up what I've done here. And Control Z or Z is your friend, or Command Z, Z. I don't even know what the right way is. I know we say it differently by being in Canada, and I think it's the UK way of saying it. But I know in the United States, I think it's Z in the United States, but it's Z in Canada. Anyways, I digress. Control Z or Z. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just there. That got me back to where we were. That's it. Yeah. So that's how I made that reel. Then I uploaded that to YouTube, Instagram. Then I exported a version without music, uploaded that to TikTok. And yeah, that took me, I think it took me about an hour to make this one. It was fun. I might make some more things like that. If you want to see, play around with this stuff. I mean, I had never, I mean, if you've noticed the videos that I've come out with in the last the last 2 weeks or so, I've been putting a copy of myself, instead of putting myself in a circle like I am right now down here, you can see. Instead of doing that, which I do in the live stream, I've been removing the background and putting a copy of myself down in the superimposing that on top of the screen recording of Camtasia. Just another way to, and I'm using the remove background tool to do that. So just a little bit of a different look, and I may change the way I do it in the future. But for now, that's the way I'm doing it. And as I was editing one of my videos, I just thought, I could probably use that to make a clone video. So I did that. So yeah, I may make some more of those in the future. So if you have any questions about any of this, let me know. That was kind of fun. Hopefully you've learned something about how to do that. That was the first thing that I was going to talk about. The second one was how I make YouTube videos with Camtasia. So that won't take as long to go. I'm not going to go through the process of actually making one, but I'll show you how I made my last one. Actually, I'll show you how I made my next one, the one that's coming out tomorrow. Why don't I open that up? Because I made that in Camtasia as well, and then you can see, get a sneak peek of what's in there, and you can see how I made that. But in the meantime, if you have any questions about anything that I'm going through here, let me know in the chat. Also, if there's anything, if I'm creating any interest or if something else pops into your head, it's like, oh, that's kind of cool, but I wonder, how do you do this? Like something else, totally unrelated. If you want to know, just, I may not know how to do it, but you can ask in the comments or in the chats, and then I'll go through it if I know how to do it. And if it's relatively quick, I can answer it right in the live stream. Or I may make a video on it. If I don't know how to do it, I will look it up and try to figure it out. And then if I do, then I'll come back on a future live stream, or in a future video, I'll make a video about it. So yeah, any questions you have, feel free to let me know. And eventually, I mean, there's not a ton of people in here right now. Actually, Kermit Rice says, I just found your channel and I immediately signed on. I see great videos. Kudos. Thank you, Kermit. Really appreciate that. And welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Yeah, in time, I hope to get quite the dialogue going, a question and answer thing as the channel grows. That's the whole point of this. And all the while, we can all learn something new about Camtasia because it's really a fabulous editing software. Way more than just screen recording and creating educational videos these days. Yeah, so where was I? Oh, tomorrow's video. let me close this. Let me save it. Okay, and close it. You can't see what I'm doing. I'm going to bring this back up to here again. So under today's topics, we've gone over the first one, clone yourself video. And now I'm about to go through how I make YouTube videos with Camtasia. Don't worry that there's all kinds of points underneath there. We're going to go through them relatively quick. But before that, I see another question here. Pamela Powers. Hi, Pam. Thanks for stopping in. Good to see you again. Do you know when 2024 will be out? Camtasia 2024, I tried to find out. I sent them a message and didn't get much of a response yet, other than I should get some advance notice that it's about to come out. So I may only have about a week's notice, but I want to be really on top of that. I missed out last year because I was going through some stuff with the big move and all this stuff. I kind of went silent for about a year on YouTube. So in 2023, when the latest version came out, I wasn't around to do an unboxing, virtual unboxing of it. But the year before, and it was June the year before, when they came out with Camtasia 2022, I went online that day and I went through all the new things that came out, all the new features and whatnot that were in the latest version. And I want to do the same thing this year. So my plan is, first, to answer your question, last year, I believe it was April 2023. Yeah, April in 2023 when the 2023 version came out. And then they had a kind of a major update come out in October of this past year, and that's when they added Rev to Camtasia. But the main version was April of last year, and the year before that it was June. If I recall, the years before that it was around April. It was closer to April. The June release was a bit late that year. So my guess is anytime between now and June, we can expect 2024 to be out. So until that happens, I'm going to keep pushing out as many how-to videos to kind of get caught up, because there was a bunch of things added in 2023 that I did not make videos on, and I'm doing that now. So I want to have a really big library of how to do basically everything in Camtasia. But at some point when 2024 comes out, I'm going to get my hands on it as soon as I can, and I'm going to go live. I may go live before I even know everything, and we can kind of go through it together. And then maybe very quickly after that, once I've been able to get into it myself, I'll go live again when I'm a little bit more knowledgeable, and we can kind of go through it in a little more detail. And then I'll start making videos on those things. So that's my plan. So fingers crossed that I can get somewhat of a advance notice of when it's coming out. Excuse me one. So I hope that helps. Sorry I can't give a more exact answer than that, but they wouldn't tell me. I asked their support, and in fairness, the support guy probably didn't know. They may not know until right before it comes out either. So yeah, so that's that. So now let me get into, where was I? I was going to open up tomorrow's video. So tomorrow's video, let me go find it here, is on color grading, how to color grade with Camtasia. So I'm going to just I'm just getting situated here. Let me show you my screen again. Right here. So this is the clone test. Let me just close that. I can save that, sure. Incidentally, how many of you use Camtasia on Windows versus how many of you use it on a Mac? I'd be interested in knowing. I'm currently using it on a Mac, but the first 10 to 12 years or so of using Camtasia was on Windows. So that's myself. Getting some answers here. Kermit Rice uses Windows. Casa Giovanna uses Windows. Renee Rosendahl uses Windows. And Pamela uses Mac. And I use Mac. So far that's 3 Windows, 2 Mac, including myself. Okay, that's good. So one of the videos I'm going to make fairly soon. I've got several in my head, or written down actually, that I'm going to do first. But I do want to make a video comparing the two versions. In case any of you are, for instance, on a Windows machine but considering getting a Mac, or vice versa, just so you know the differences. One of the main differences I noticed right off the bat was in subtitling. The subtitles are handled way differently. In fact, there's a really cool subtitle feature in the Windows version that it does not exist in the Mac version, and that's the ability to plug in a transcript already made. I've made a video on this 2 years ago, I think, where you can kind of play the video and then you kind of click a word every time you want a new subtitle to be created. It's not an automated AI way of doing it, but it's the only piece of software that I've ever found that allows you to do it that way. And that's on Windows. It's not available in the Mac version, which I was a little disappointed in, but that's okay. There's workarounds. The one thing about the Mac version of Camtasia that I love actually is the ability to open more than one project at one time. Okay, so as you see here, yes, you can see this. This is, so everything else, most things look identical in the two versions. This is the Mac version. Let me open up the color grading project. So I just double click the CMPROJ file in my folder, and then it opens up here. Let me just back this up here. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is a copy, or this is this project. Now I can also go back. If I go to my projects, live stream, clone test, right here, double click that. I just open another. So here's clone test, right? And here is the Camtasia color grading one. So I have two projects open at the exact same time. You can't do that as far as well, again, I haven't used the Windows version in about a year. You never could do this in the Windows version. I don't believe you can yet to this day. So, but what I really like about this is I can come to this here. Like, let's say I'm making a YouTube video and I want to use the same graphics in one video as. So I want to copy graphics from one project file over to another. If I have them both open, I can highlight them like this, Control C. And then go over to the other well, let me just do this right quick. I'll just do a small version. So this little sound effect here, Control C. Let me just move that out of the way. And if I come over here, Control V, there it is. It's hard to see because, but there is the sound effect. Copy and pasted, right? Let me just Control Z to delete that. Yeah, so copy and pasting between projects is awesome in the Mac version of Camtasia. So that's one of the main reasons I love it. Okay, so anyways, here we are. So this is my project file for the video that I'm releasing tomorrow morning. Again, it's already done. I've already rendered it. I've already uploaded it. I've already created the description, the thumbnail, all that stuff is already done. Uploaded to YouTube, and I've scheduled it. I've actually scheduled it for the afternoon, but I'm going to, as soon as I get out of here, I'm going to change that so that it comes out at 10 a.m. my time, which is 9 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so for you on the West Coast, it'll be up first thing in the morning. So let me just go, not that one, I'm just opening just the thumbnail again. This is what you're going to look for. That's the thumbnail for tomorrow's video. So again, it's all about color grading. I'm not going to go too much into the actual how to do it. It's not that difficult, but just wanted you to see that. The way I go through these videos, or the way I make a YouTube video, you can see the different sections here. Okay, so this first section here is the intro. Okay, right till about there. The bottom is, I always put background music at the bottom. That's just a preference thing. You don't have to. And then if you go right to the end here, this ending here is the outro. Okay. Again, background music down here. And for these videos that I've been making lately, I have not been including music through the main part of the video. I've watched some of my older videos and thought, you know what? The music doesn't add anything to that. And if I'm teaching something that has background music in it, if I'm showing you something and we're watching a video and it has music in it, it would just take away from that if I had other background music in my tutorial video. But if you're making an educational video, by all means, I'm a big fan of putting background music, very low background music, but I'm a big fan of including that. Motionarray.com, best place to get stuff like that. So I film real quick. Let me just go back to this change screens here. So how I make videos, YouTube videos, the Camtasia, script and idea. So right off the bat, I now have a template ready that allows me to make these videos more quickly. And it's a script for just the intro and the ending. The ending, if you've watched my last several videos, is all fairly similar. Just kind of says if you want to see more videos like this, blah, blah, blah. Talks about the live streaming on Tuesdays and things like that. So that's pretty much the same. The intro is just 1 or 2 or 3 sentences talking about what I'm about to talk about, right? So I have those 2 things in a file, and for every new video I create a copy of that, and then I make adjustments to the script. Excuse me. So I record, I script only the intro and the ending, but first, before I can even write the intro, I have to come up with the idea. It's like, what's this video going to be about? And so for this one, for instance, I knew it's like, oh, color grading. Of course, I've never done a video on how to color grade. So, and actually, look at the if you look at the intro, I did a little wipe here. Isn't that cool? So I thought that was kind of neat way to start the video. So I thought, yeah, let's make a video on how to do that. Just move that back there. You can kind of see there, right in the middle. So I have to have an idea. Okay, what am I going to talk about? So I write down some notes. So this is what I'm going to do in the video. It's going to be about this. I'm generating some ideas on thumbnails in my head. I open Canva up and I start playing around with things. How do I want this to look like? If I'm talking about color grading, then what am I going to do with the thumbnail? In this case, I thought, let's show a before and after side by. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing here. Sorry. I have to get better at doing this. There we go. There, I thought for the thumbnail, let's show a before and an after, showing the differences. I added a little color bar down along the bottom here, and of course the Camtasia logo. So the whole idea of the thumbnail is you don't have to put the title of the video in the thumbnail. The way you should think about it is the thumbnail image and the title should support one another. Okay, so the image is like, that's going to quickly get someone's attention. It's like, oh wow, color grade. That's obviously color grading, and I see the Camtasia logo. I want to know about that. So then the next thing they'll see is probably the title, and the title I called it. If I go up here, where is it here? The video title: Camtasia Color Grading Tutorial 2024, easy, and I put that in caps. So that's the title, and then. So I've got an idea, but I will first film the intro and the outro, okay? Which, yeah, you can see what I'm doing here. The intro and the outro, and I do that in one take. So if the intro is long enough that I can't memorize what I'm gonna say, I'm still not 100% comfortable talking off the top of my head into the camera without looking at a script. I mean, I'm doing that now. I'm doing a live stream and I'm just kind of going as I go, but you may notice I say a lot of ums and ahs and I hesitate and I don't always look at the camera. So it's a work in progress. I'm trying to get better at that. But until I'm an expert at that, I use a script for the intro and the ending. Okay, so what I do is I take this thing here. This is a teleprompter. I don't know, can you see how that works? and it fits over the lens of my camera like this. You can kind of see what I do here. So you can see right through there. It's just clear glass, and it's on an angle. It's on a 45-degree angle. And if I show you my phone, is that going to work? Yeah. So that's my phone view. This little rounded part here slips over top of the lens. Now, when I bought this teleprompter, it came with a whole bunch of different sized fittings for different lenses, right? So there's probably 10 or 12 different fittings for different lenses that came with this. And for the lens I'm using now, so you just kind of screw that on, and then it allows you to hang this right on. So this is very lightweight. And then I set my phone in here, right across here, and I use an app called Prompt Smart, which is a great app for Prompt Smart is a great app for teleprompters. It turns my phone into a teleprompter. So then I set my phone right here, I lay it right here, and as the words are going up here, they're going up here, and I can see them. Okay, so that's how I do that. That's how I film the intro and the outro. And in the past, how I've made a lot of my videos where it's script heavy, and I knew exactly what I wanted to say. That's how I use a teleprompter. So I record those in one take. So I'll record the intro, and I may have to say a couple sentences more than once, a couple times even, knowing that I can cut them out later. But I only hit start recording once and then stop once. And so for the intro and the outro, I record two things. I record my camera right here, this camera, and I record it right on the camera. So I hit the start or the record button on the camera, excuse me, and I record the audio using, again, I can show you if you can see this here. This is my audio interface by Focusrite. My microphone, which is up here, so the wire for it comes all the way and plugs into the back, actually to the front. That's the microphone right there. Plugs into that, and then that is USB-C connected to my Mac, my computer. So that allows me to capture the audio in the computer, okay? So I capture the audio separate from, the camera is going to capture audio as well, right? Because it has a microphone in it. And you can also get external mics that will sit on top of the camera, like a little shotgun mic. You could do that as well. I just happen to like this mic a lot better. This is a good distance away. It's a shotgun mic, which means it's not going to pick up other stuff, other noise. Like if the furnace was on here for heating in the wintertime, I'd be able to hear it sitting here, but the microphone won't pick it up. So that's why I like the shotgun mic. So I record the audio separate because I then want to process the audio, and I use Adobe After Effects. No, not After Effects. Adobe Audition to process my audio, just because that's what I've always used. In fact, that's the only Adobe software that I continue to use. So at some point in the future, I'm probably going to teach myself Audacity, which is a free audio editing software that allows you to do a lot of certainly not as much as you can do in Adobe Audition, but it does everything I need it to do to make YouTube videos like this. So I capture the audio separate, I process it, and then the camera, I record and stop right on the camera. And then if you can see, one of these wires here is USB connected to my dock over here, basically connected to the computer. And the reason I do that is so that I don't have to, after every time I start and stop, I don't have to take the camera off and then pop the SD card out and then pop it into my laptop, right? Instead, I can just plug that into the computer, and then the computer recognizes the camera as a hard drive, and then I can just copy and paste using Apple Finder, right? Or if you're on a Windows computer, File Manager, use that to drag the video files over to your computer. Then you've got them. Then you've got the video file and the audio file, and then you can add them both into Camtasia. So that's how I do that. Okay, and that's for the intro and the ending. So let me just switch back to different view here, this view. So now if I zoom in on the intro part of this, okay, we've got this is the camera view, and this is the audio right here that I got from my microphone. Again, I've added a underscore processed to the end of my file name. So I saved the file, the audio file, color intro, and then I save it like that. And then when I add the effects to it to make, you know, the basses deeper and the trebles higher and remove some noise and add compression, all the things I do to the audio to make it sound better, I then I save it as a new file and I add this underscore processed. That way I can keep track of that. Or if I ever wanted to go back and if the processing didn't work very well and if I wanted to make changes in a different way, I can start over with the color intro file that I still have. Okay, so that's that. So let me just play this.
Let me show you how I color grade my videos in Camtasia. It doesn't even matter.
So do you notice how I have a cut here? That's because, like, if I bring down, let's bring this file down, 0398 intro. It's this one here. No, it's too long. Let me see now. Let me just, what else do I have going on here? 0398. If I bring, there we go. If I bring that down, so that's the video part. Oh, and there is audio in there, so I'm not going to worry about syncing up the audio and how to do that. I'll go through that. Actually, that's the next video that's coming out. Again, already made. So let's just quickly take a look at what I started with. Okay.
In Camtasia.
No, I'm going to have to silence that. And let's silence the music too. Okay, so here was my intro, my take of the intro.
Alrighty. Alright. Test, test, test.
Got to get amped up to do these.
Test, test, test. Let me show you how I color grade. Let me show you how I color grade my videos in Camtasia. It doesn't even matter what kind of video camera you use, so I'll demonstrate using footage shot on my Sony camera as well as footage shot on my iPhone.
My phone was off, so I wanted it on, so I did it. I turned it on, did it.
It doesn't even matter what kind of video camera you use, so I'll demonstrate using footage shot on my Sony camera and footage shot on my iPhone. Let's get into it.
That's the intro. Now I kept the camera rolling, and there I set the I turned Prompt Smart on, and then I put the camera up on the teleprompter. So let me just stop for a second. So for the intro, I did not use the teleprompter. It was small enough, short enough text. The intro was very short. I was able to memorize it, and I had it on my screen right beside here. So, but for the ending, I did want to use the teleprompter. So that's why you saw me set it up there.
If there's anything else you'd like to know how to do in Camtasia, let me know in the comments below. I live stream Camtasia tutorials at 1 p.m. Tuesdays for about an hour. I live stream Camtasia tutorials at 1 o'clock Tuesdays.
I'll tell you one thing about the teleprompter, that software, Prompt Smart. It has something in it that, like, it uses your phone's microphone to listen to your voice, and as you're speaking, the words advance. Okay, so that is so cool. Like, otherwise you'd have to guess how fast you say things and then try to set that timing in the software, and you can do that, and that's how most of them work. But Prompt Smart has the automated thing where it advances as it hears you saying. It's got voice recognition. It hears what you're saying. It advances the script. So what you saw me do, reach up there, I had to say something a second time. So you just put your finger on the screen. And you can kind of scroll back to the part that you messed up, so you can do it again. That's why you saw my finger going up there.
Tutorials. I live stream Camtasia tutorials at 1 o'clock Tuesdays for about 1 hour. I do demo requests and answer your questions live. If you're looking to improve your Camtasia videos, join me in If you're looking to improve your Camtasia videos, join me in the next live stream. I'm Rob, and I'll see you in the next video, or in the next live stream. See you soon.
I do that sometimes. I can't get my hand close enough to the camera. Like usually you see people transition away like this. They completely cover the camera. But when I have this on the end of my camera, this big thing here, I can't get my hand that close to the lens. So I'm probably gonna stop even trying that.
In the next live stream. See you soon.
See, that's as close as I could get. But what I could have done, if I could bring this back and end it there, and then I could have put a fade there, right? So visual effects, actually I've got it in my favorites. If I go to fade, drop one of those here, I could have ended it like that.
Soon.
Actually, that's not gonna, you couldn't see that because I have something below it. That's what it faded to. Okay, so one other thing I just wanted to show you about the audio processing. I'm going to show you before processing and after. So what you're hearing here, since I didn't sync this clip up with the audio that I got from my microphone here and that I processed, it's just using the audio captured by my camera. So I'm going to play this part and you tell me if you can hear the difference between the two.
I live stream Camtasia tutorials at 1 o'clock Tuesdays for about 1 hour.
Okay, unprocessed. Now if I come to the very end,
I live stream Camtasia tutorials at 1 o'clock Tuesdays for about 1 hour.
I don't know if you can tell through the YouTube live if there's a difference, but I certainly can. That sounds a lot better, that version, than the first version. Okay, so that's that. Let me just quickly check. There's a couple of chats that came in. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at keeping my eye on these, but let's just go through the chats. Where were we? So the Shirt Shack says, hello from the UK, and we say Z, not Z. You say, hello, hello, Shirt Shack. You say Z. Okay, Z. I think, so is Z just a Canadian thing? I thought, so there's a lot of things that we say here in Canada. So we're very close to the US. And there's a lot of differences between what we say here in Canada versus the way they say things in the US. And I think Z and Z is one of them. Maybe, if you say Z in the UK, I'm pretty sure that's what they say in the United States as well. So maybe it's just Canada that says Z. I'm going to have to look that up. But I thought a lot of times we get our way of saying things from the UK because we have very close ties to the UK. So that's interesting. You say Z in the UK. I've learned something today. The Shirt Shack also says, anybody noticed if, here, let me just quickly, over here. Has anybody noticed if Camtasia has been a bit buggy today? Mine has been crashing every few minutes after I perform a cut. Really? Okay. I haven't noticed that, and I've used it today. But I wouldn't think that's something that, like Camtasia, unless you're using some kind of online version or you're plugged into something online like their assets or something, is that what you're having trouble with, the assets? But the program itself is just running on your computer. So if you're having issues with your computer, or with Camtasia on your computer, it might be something to do with your computer. I don't know, but I haven't noticed a problem with mine. The thing with Camtasia, the thing with any video editing software is they work better on, unfortunately, more expensive computers. So computers that have good graphics cards, or actually gaming computers, tend to be very good computers for video editing as well, rendering and things like that. But if you have a bare bones computer, I'm not saying that you do, I don't know, but like entry-level laptops and whatnot, programs like Camtasia would struggle to run well on those. And even if you did, if it does work, render times would be a lot longer. So I've used Camtasia. So right now I'm using an M1 Mac. It's a MacBook Pro with an M1 Max chip. So I think that's around, well, my computer is a year old, but the technology, it's about a 2 or 3 year old MacBook Pro right now. But it's still very good, very good. What I moved to was from a Windows desktop machine that my son helped me build. Good for video editing, good for gaming as well. That's what he's into. But he said, Dad, it's all the same stuff. You need a good graphics card, blah, blah, blah. But this Mac still outperforms what that was. That desktop was built in 2020. Before that, I used, what was it? I think I have it. I do. Before that desktop, I used this, an HP Windows machine. And what was it? Intel Core i5 7th Gen. So it's an i5 7th Gen. Not a very good computer now. I put more hard drive in there, and I upgraded the RAM, I believe, to 16 gigabytes in this. I have 32 now in the MacBook, but this ran it fine. But I tell you, the MacBook will render something probably 10 times faster than this one did. And I do notice that things crash a lot less now than they did. So I used to have problems when I used that with Camtasia. So just keep that in mind here. The Shirt Shack also says, I have the Blackmagic Capture thingy too. Mine does not work with Camtasia though. I have to use OBS to stream to Camtasia. Interesting. You're talking about this here, this here, the ATEM Mini. That's the ATEM Mini Pro by Blackmagic, who also make DaVinci Resolve, incidentally. I do have my Sony camera running through this, but that's how I'm doing this live stream, right? So like this allows me to change. If I had this on here, it would allow me to change. I don't have my other camera hooked in. So for this case, I just have to leave it on channel 1. But I too have noticed trouble using Camtasia to capture my video and screen at the same time through this, right? This only will do 1080p, first of all. But I've noticed some kind of laggy, glitchy things going on when I use this to record. So I've actually, the last few videos I've made, even though I'm using Camtasia to edit them, let me change that back again, I too used OBS to capture my screen, but I used Camtasia to add in the edits, the zooms, the pans, and all that stuff. So interesting that you did that too. Kermit Rice says, what is the, again, I apologize that you probably asked this quite a while ago. What is the box that changed via? Yes, changed views. What is the box that changed views? I'm trying to remember what I was doing. If you're still there, can you remind me what your question is? What is the box that changed views? Are you talking about this here when I changed these views? Stream Deck. Yes, the Shirt Shack, and that's what that is. That is a Stream Deck. So here, this thing right here is a Stream Deck. So I can have all my scenes set up. It's in front of your, yes. So Stream Deck. This is the Stream Deck XL. It's about 3 years old. XL meaning it had more buttons than the current version at the time. It has, what's that, 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 4 times 8, 24, I guess. 4 times 8, 32. 32 buttons on this one. You can get a version that has 15 buttons and a version that has 6 buttons. And they have newer versions of the Stream Deck that has others. It's cool. It's really neat for live streaming. But it does more than that. You can also program these buttons to open programs if you want. So I don't use it for that. I only use it for live streaming right now. You could use it to start a recording session on your computer. What I typically do, so right now I've got a little monitor down here. This is what you are seeing when I'm on this view, okay? That screen is what you're seeing when I show you my screen. So the way I've set things up is I'm using this bottom screen to show you stuff. If I want to show you something, I drag it from my main monitor down here, okay? And then On this screen is where I've got OBS running. You can kind of see it there. And then everything else, anyways, I've got all kinds of stuff going on. I'm kind of getting off track a little bit here. But if you have any questions about how I do any of this, by all means, ask me. That's what I like about this. I start by talking about Camtasia and how I'm doing certain things, but at any point, if you have questions, ask me, and I'll go down that path. I just have to get better at looking at the chat because I'm horrible at that, and I'll miss stuff. Maybe I have to make it larger somehow. Maybe I need another screen that just has chat. Where am I now? So yeah, that's the box. It's the Stream Deck. The Shirt Shack says Alienware Intel i9 with NVIDIA 4060 Ti, 64 gigs of memory. Don't think it's my computer unless it's a virus. I don't think it's your computer either. That's quite a machine. I think even my desktop, the NVIDIA, what was it? The 2080 or something like that. No, 1660 Ti is what it was. So yours is much better than mine was. So yeah, no, that's plenty of computer to deal with Camtasia. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I suppose it could be a virus. Could be something going on with Camtasia too. Do you have the latest version installed? That's something to think about as well. But yeah, no, that's unfortunate. When stuff crashes, or you do say it was a 50-minute long recording might be the issue. Yeah, and was it 4K? Or no, if you were using the ATEM, it would have been 1080p. Or was it 60 frames per second? Anything. So when I'm streaming, let's change this back again. When I'm streaming, I stream at 1080p, 30 frames per second, because I don't have a great upload connection internet. I've got high-speed internet, but it's through the local cable company. They give me 900 megabits per second download, which is awesome. But the upload is capped at 15 megabits per second, which where I lived before, we had fiber op and it was like 900 down, 900 up, which, wow, you don't need. So, but with only 15 up, I have to be careful of my bit rates. And but I find at 1080p, 30 frames per second, the math says that all I need is, I think I figured it out to be 4 or 5 megabits per second is all I need to be able to stream with that, and I have 15 available. Now it all depends if am I uploading other things. I don't typically. My wife works upstairs in her office, but she doesn't usually upload a lot of big files either, so that shouldn't be an issue either. So, but yeah, with Camtasia. I have had issues in the past with really long videos, especially if they are 4K, and again, especially if they're high frame rate, like 60 frames per second or higher. That's a lot for your computer to handle. It's a lot for Camtasia to handle. And that's where you start running into the issue of, well, Camtasia is historically a screen recording software. And for that, it does it really well, right? And generally, if you're doing screen recordings, you don't typically need 4K, really. I mean, I suppose there are cases where you might. Like if you're making a presentation that you're going to take to a convention or something, and you're going to have a big, 75-inch TV playing your video back, then perhaps you want 4K footage of yourself. And you want if you want to be able to zoom in really far on the screens, it's good to capture that in a higher resolution as well. But again, the screen is probably nothing compared to the video capture that you get. So if you have to do that, I guess the first thing I'd try is if you are at 60 frames per second recording and you're trying to mess with that and a 50-minute long video, try doing it at 30 frames per second, right? If you've already shot the video, then maybe you can convert it. You can use a program called like Handbrake. That's an app you can download. I think it's available on Mac or PC, where you can convert videos from one aspect ratio to another or one frame rate to another. Try 30 frames per second. If it's 4K 30, then if that's still having trouble with that, then maybe you have to try it at 1080, 1080p. Just try a couple things like that, and maybe that will help. The Shirt Shack says 30 frames, 1080p. Also, I upgraded to the latest version of Camtasia yesterday as I was having issues with the license not being recognized. I only purchased it last week, so still learning. Okay, well, you've already done everything I would have suggested. I wonder if making it's a 50-minute video. Is there any way to split that up? Like, are there natural places to break the video? So maybe there are, 10 different sections that you can create 10 different videos and then maybe stitch them together afterwards. If you could do that, I mean, it's extra steps, but Camtasia would be able to handle that a lot better. And you could only really do that if you have natural breaks, I guess, where it makes sense. Oh, and you said that's exactly what I did. Okay, and I assume that worked better. So let's say you have several different smaller Camtasia projects, you render them out, right? And then you bring them into maybe a master Camtasia file that is its sole purpose is to just put them all together and then render that out. Is that what you did? I've done that before. It's a bit of a hassle, but it's sometimes you have to do creative things like that. 50 minutes is pretty long for a Camtasia video, especially if there's video involved and it's not just a screen capture. Yes, split it into 10-minute videos and used CapCut. Oh, okay, CapCut to put it back together, right? Okay, that's cool. I've used CapCut before, but I've only used it for adding some animated captions and things like that. For clients who wanted like a TikTok made, they sent me a video, wanted to edit it into a TikTok video, and they wanted the animated. That'd be nice to see. I'd love to. If anybody out there in Camtasia is watching this, I would love to see some more animated captions available from within Camtasia, so we don't have to export Camtasia, then use something else like CapCut to finish that off. That would be near the top of my wish list for Camtasia. If there's anything else you guys come across that you would like to see in Camtasia, let me know. I'd be interested to hear it because, there's the industry seems to be changing a lot. Another way it's changing is with subtitles and captions. Well, no, that's what I just mentioned. So animated captions, if like TikTok style, people call them TikTok style captions, because you can do it right in TikTok. And in fact, CapCut is a TikTok program. TikTok created CapCut, and it's free to use. But the Shirt Shack says, I like Camtasia features for screen recording more. I 100% agree. Same thing. I've been, as some of you might know, I've been dabbling in DaVinci Resolve a little bit lately. It's another video editing software that's, I recommend you try it out. It's great for making longer videos, but some of the things that you can do easily in Camtasia, it's quite a bit harder to do in DaVinci, like zooming and panning on screen recordings. That's difficult to do in DaVinci Resolve without extra. What's the word I'm looking for? There are other programs you can load into DaVinci that would help people make. What's the term? I can't think of the term. Extensions, I guess, or not templates, but extensions that you can load into DaVinci to make it a little bit easier. Still not as easy as in Camtasia. I love Camtasia for making tutorial type videos, which is why I've been using it lately with my YouTube videos. The Shirt Shack says I've been playing with Descript, which is really good for captions and removing the ums and other filler words, and the voice dubbing is really cool. Yes, I've used Descript as well, and I know they've been adding some new features since I've used it, because I haven't used it to remove ums and filler words. I do that manually generally, because I'm not usually dealing with long videos. What I use Descript for is actually when I moved over to Camtasia, moved it over to the Mac and stopped using the PC version, when I had to find other ways to do subtitles, I found Descript really good at being able to load a transcript into it and then there's an automated way to have it sync to the video. And then you can export your new subtitles as an SRT file. You can do this in Descript, and then come back to Camtasia and import it as an SRT. Import that SRT file, and then you've got your, you probably have to do some fixing and whatnot. And I found the timing wasn't perfect, but you can make the adjustments in once you get it in. Well, you can make the adjustments in Descript as well, I suppose, but I'm more used to working in Camtasia. But all these things are saying, that's right, I just remember, your comment reminded me of what I was about to talk about, and that's AI. AI is changing this industry very fast. Lots of the ways you do things in a lot of these programs is changing, and a lot of these programs are adding AI abilities to them. Descript, I believe, is one of them. Canva for making images and whatnot. Well, actually, you can make videos now in Canva, and they're really starting to use AI a lot. You can use AI in Canva to make images based on your prompts. So that's really cool. The one thing I like about DaVinci Resolve with subtitles is they have an automated way to transcribe your. You make a couple of clicks, load your video into DaVinci Resolve, make a couple of clicks. Now, this only works with the paid version, not the free version. But with a couple of clicks, it'll generate all of the text already broken up, like the SRT file. Already, the subtitles already split the way they should be, and it does a very good job. Very good. I still have to go through it and make some corrections. And the worse the audio quality is, the worse job it'll do. But if the audio is nice and clear, it does an awesome job. And then I just have to do some visual changes. Like, I don't like if a subtitle is like 10 words long and then there's one word on a second line. I don't like that. I'll either move that word to the next subtitle, or I'll shorten the subtitles and make both lines roughly the same length. So that's just one thing that I do when I subtitle videos for clients through Fiverr, is to make them look better. And so the AI, but I think it's coming. It's AI's been around. Well, ChatGPT hit about a year and a half ago is when it landed. Like, I want to say October, November of 2022. And already it's come a long way. And all of these AI tools getting added to all these programs fairly quickly. So again, TechSmith, Camtasia, if you're listening, it would be really cool if you added some AI features in the next version. Now, maybe it's too late for the next version, but maybe you're already working on it. AI features to the next version of Camtasia would be awesome, especially along the subtitling line. So AI and subtitles, automated captions would be awesome. Some more visually appealing, am I saying that right? Captions that look good. Animated effects to captions. That would be awesome too. Because people are making these short form videos a lot more these days. And I know Camtasia's roots are not in making videos like that. Their roots are more screen capture things. But, you know, you got to change with the times, right? And that's the way we've been going. And Camtasia is perfect for working on Reels because they're short videos, like maximum 1 minute. I know you can make longer. Like TikToks, you can make them longer, and Shorts and YouTube, you can make them longer, but you got to think about who's watching your shorts. And again, like I mentioned before, after 3 seconds, they may be swiping away, right? You got to catch their attention quick, and you can't be a long video unless it is super engaging. So if you're just trying to get a quick point across and you want to try to funnel people over to your main channel to watch your videos, it's got to be short videos. So we're talking 15 to 20 to 30 second videos max. Camtasia can handle those beautifully. So just need a few more features in there to make our YouTube shorts look pretty. Quick little break here. How are we doing for time? This has almost been 2 hours. That's okay. I've got nowhere to go. As long as you guys have questions, I'll stick around. So the Shirt Shack says, I've been playing with Descript. Yes, so I read that one. Totally agree. I record it in Camtasia, rough edit, then descript to add captions, and then polish it in CapCut. Okay, cool. Polish it in CapCut. So I don't know the answer to this. Maybe you can help me out. What's better at making nice looking captions? I think you've given me the answer already, and it's CapCut. But can you make decent looking captions in Descript as well? Again, I've never used it for that purpose, but I know you can in CapCut. That's what people use in TikTok. Descript. You use Descript to make those. Okay, cool. And then when you polish it, so what do you polish in CapCut? I'd be interested in knowing. So Descript has pre-made filters. Okay, nice. And it's nice if you can just drag them and drop them down. One thing I did notice in CapCut is if I made a lot of changes to a caption to make it look real nice, and then I copied it over and then made, like a 2-minute video that had all the captions. I'm thinking back to a project I did for a client. And then he came back to me and said, oh, can you change the text in this to something else? And when I made that change, the formatting was gone. Like maybe I did something wrong, but I just found I had to kind of copy and paste an old one back and then change things. It was a little bit cumbersome. The Shirt Shack says Descript has pre-made filters. Cool. And the Shirt Shack says CapCut has nice transitions and text effects. Okay, nice. So yeah, they all have their own, all these programs have their own specialties, their own things that they're good at. But they all make videos, right? So sometimes you have to use a combination of more than one. Again, you can make a video now in Canva alone, like only Canva. You can make it in Camtasia, but yeah, so everything has, yes, it gets expensive, Shirt Shack. Yes, it does. The more you have to buy. And also the DaVinci Resolve auto captioning or auto subtitling feature I talked about, that's only available in the paid version, unfortunately. But I think the paid version of DaVinci Resolve is around the same price as Camtasia is. It's around $300 or something like that. I'd have to check, but yeah. So, but yeah, if you start buying all of these programs, Descript, I don't think I have a subscription to that anymore, but it was around $40 a month, I think. I haven't had a lot of use, and that's what I've noticed too in the subtitling niche. So anybody out there thinking of starting subtitle gigs in Fiverr and wants to freelance that sort of work, there's a lot less of it now than there was 2 years ago, because I think a lot of companies are using these auto-generated captions to get that done. So I don't get as many orders on those as I used to. I'm getting more video tutorial type orders, but less of the subtitling stuff. Again, you just have to roll with the changes as technology advances. Okay, so where was I? I was talking about how I make YouTube videos with Camtasia. I probably covered all of these things already. I'm just looking at here on the screen right here. Script and the idea. Yeah, that's the first thing I did. Film the intro and the ending, right? And then film the middle. Okay, so if I were to show you real quick here, let's go back to this. Let's delete that. This was my, this is the video that's coming out tomorrow morning. And I made it in Camtasia, and it is 6 minutes and 15 seconds long. Okay, I've got the intro here. So I showed you the raw file of the intro, but as you can see, there's a cut here. So I do they're called jump cuts. I cut out the empty space. Again, it's all about trying to keep people's attention when you're making videos, and you want to cut out the ums and the ahs. You want to cut out, if I say one sentence and then take a break and then say another sentence. If it's a long sentence, I may need more than one breath to say it. So I'll only say half, and then I'll stop, and I'll say the other half. I'll have to put them together and cut out the middle part. So that's why you see a little jump here, right here, and I'll hit play. Actually, let's make this bigger so you can see it.
Videos in Camtasia. It doesn't even matter.
You saw the jump there.
Camtasia. It doesn't even matter.
Okay, and I zoom right in when I do that. and I play around here and just make sure I don't cut away any of the audio when I do that. Yeah, so that only took one. I only had one cut in the intro, all the way through here.
Let's get into it.
And then that little thing there, that's... So again, all of my recent videos are kind of using the same template. This I can copy and paste from this project to the next, right? And if you want to see what's in the group, I can just hit plus here, and there's all of this stuff. So a background, the logo, and to the logo you can see a sliding animation I added, a behavior animation. Okay, then I have my logo, which is a cormorant, local bird that's around here all over the place in the ocean. And then this is the typing on text effect. And then this is a sound effect for that. Right, that typing sound effect. And then this is the text again with a sliding behavior. So once it's typed on, then I just do this. The sliding behavior is kind of like a, well, if I highlight it, you can see. I use the in, there's no behavior, the out, there's none, and the during, I've got the wiggle style, and you can change all that. So that just kind of gives it a floating motion. That's what I did there. Close that group. So that's all in there. Then I have the background music. I have it on light here, and then I raise the volume during that intro.
Let's get into it.
And if you notice here, see I have the word bass drop here. So I added a marker, and I listened to the music first, and I found where the boom, like where the bass came in that music track, and it's right there. And that's when I want the change to happen.
Let's get into it.
So just a little thing. So when I make another video, the next video, I will copy this and paste it into the other project file, but then I may have to slide it around to get it, depending on how long the intro was, right? And I'll get it in the right place, and then I'll extend it back, and then I have the music kind of trail off once the video begins.
Okay, I've got a sample project open here, and I've got some footage brought into Camtasia.
Okay, and then there's no music. From then on, there's no music. Then you got the middle part, and then the ending.
So remember, if you're using different cameras, if you have footage from two different types of cameras in your video, you're probably going to want to color grade them separately. If there's anything else you'd like to know how to do in Camtasia,
Okay, again, I'm bringing the music back on again.
let me know in the comments below. I live stream Camtasia tutorials at 1 o'clock Tuesdays for about 1 hour.
Okay, but you've seen that. Now this middle part, so when I mentioned here, film middle, so with that I do not use a script, okay? But there's more cuts. So if you notice here, if you're looking at the middle, oh wait, sorry, you can't see that. Now you can see it. If you're looking here, so this was a cut. So
to do that, that'll make it like that, okay? But let's go back to visual effect.
So every once in a while when I'm doing a tutorial like this, I'll come to the end of what I remember I wanted to say, and I'll have to refer to my notes. Say, okay, I'll just stop and I'll look at my notes. I'll try to keep the mouse roughly in the same place. Then I'll look back up and I'll continue. So that's why you see cuts. I find it very hard. I'm not a teacher by trade. I'm not a presenter either. So I'm still learning how to do this, and maybe over time there will be fewer and fewer cuts. Already there are, actually. If you look at my video, if I were to open a file of a video I made 2 or 3 years ago for YouTube, there's a whole lot more cuts then than there are now. So right now, there's 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were only 6 cuts in that, in the middle part, right? So I lay the middle part down. You got the 3 things I had to sync up. I've got the audio. Wait now. Audio here. That is the screen recording, right? Screen recording there. And then that is me with the background removed. Okay, those are the 3 things. And they all captured audio, right? My camera captured audio. As I was capturing my screen through OBS, I had it capture the audio as well, actually through the same microphone. And then this microphone captured it in Adobe Audition outside, as it is right now, actually. And you can see if I change to this, if I highlight this, you can see right here, this is Adobe Audition running, and it's recording everything that I'm saying right now. So that's how I do that. So those three things, I sync them all up, and then I start doing my cuts. And then I will go through and I'll add, what did I add here? So here, oh, that's a little subscribed animation. Remind people to subscribe if they like what they're watching. And then over here, I did it again, the subscribe thing, okay? And then the other thing I wanted to notice is, so these markers that I've got, tip here, iPhone here. So what these are, I put them in after, right? I mean, markers are really good to use when you're building a video. I get that, and I do that sometimes. But for these videos, what I'm using markers for is for chaptering my YouTube videos afterwards. So after I've rendered the video, I'll go through it again, and I'll write down, or even when I'm editing the video, I may say, okay, I want a chapter break there, and I'll put a marker there. And it just makes it easier when I'm entering the chapter times in the YouTube description. That's how chaptering works. You go to your YouTube description for that video, and you have to put like a time, 0:00, and then intro. And then you write down the time and the name of each chapter, and then YouTube automatically inserts the chapters based on that. So if you ever see a YouTube video that has chapters broken down in the timeline, go check out their description, and you'll see somewhere in there they've entered those times and the chapter names. So that's how that works. It's kind of neat the way that works. So I'm starting to do that now with my YouTube videos, and at some point, if I ever get some free time, I should probably go back to my older videos and do the same thing, but that'll depend on time. So yeah, so let me just quickly see, film the middle, then edit. So I've kind of talked about the editing, then I export it and upload it to YouTube. That is how I make my YouTube videos now, and that's how I made the last several that I've made. I'm probably 8 or 9 in the last month and a half or so, all in Camtasia. Not saying I'm always going to use Camtasia to make YouTube videos. Like if I get into some really long ones, I may use DaVinci Resolve instead. That's my other program that I like to use. But Camtasia is the program that I know the best and I've used the longest by far. So that's what I talk about on this channel. So yeah. Do you have any other questions? If you have any other questions at all, let me know. Even after this is over, and I'm probably going to sign off here shortly, unless there are more questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below, because as soon as I stop this, the chat will stop working, and but then you'll be able to leave comments below the video, and you can ask your questions there. Again, I'll be back next Tuesday for the next live stream at 1 o'clock Eastern. Before then, though, I've got some videos coming out. I've got 2 more already made and uploaded to YouTube, scheduled to come out. One is going to come out tomorrow. That's on color grading. Tomorrow morning, I've got to change that. I've got to remind myself to change the time so it comes out tomorrow morning. And then the other one currently is scheduled for Monday. And then I don't have anything else created beyond that, so we'll see how it goes the next couple days. I'll try to get a couple more made. Who knows, I may be able to push that one out sooner. Again, I want to get as many of these Camtasia basic how-to videos done as I can until Camtasia 2024 comes out, because once that comes out, I'm going to upgrade immediately, and I'm going to start making videos on the new features of Camtasia that came out with 2024. So that is the plan. So yeah, hopefully that is what you're looking for. Casa Giovanna says, thank you, very informative. You're welcome. Thanks for stopping in and spending a couple hours with me. It's been almost 2 hours. Had some troubles getting this live stream off the ground. When I went to go live, my OBS settings were wrong. They were still set for capturing my screen. Actually, we talked about that. They were set for capturing my screen in 4K. I can't broadcast in 4K with a 15 megabit per second upload cap. So I got a warning message saying, hey, your settings are all, so I was like, what? And I probably could have changed it on the fly, but instead I stopped it and then I started up a new anyways, that's what happened. I'll try to remember not to do that next time. The Shirt Shack says, thanks, Rob. Sorry to hijack your live stream with all my newbie questions. No problem at all. This is great. I love the questions. Again, I'm just getting this community going. So there's not going to be a whole ton of people in here for the next little while. I'm hoping to see it grow over time, but right now I think we probably averaged 4 or 5 people, which is awesome. It's actually more than last week, so that's awesome. But yeah, in these early days, until we get so popular that thousands are watching every week, there'll be a lot more opportunity to ask your questions, and I'll be able to give one-on-one answers. So that's the way we'll do that. Liam Moore, yo Liam, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. If you're just stopping in now, you're a little late because I'm about to sign off. So you can watch the recap though when it's done. It's only 2 hours, so you got 2 hours of your time. Then you can watch the replay. Okay, I think that's it. Thanks guys for stopping in and watching this live stream, and I will see you. Liam says, LOL, I'll watch the VOD, video on demand. Absolutely. Thanks again, guys, for stopping by, and I'll see you next week. Don't forget to look for that video tomorrow. Again, 2 more videos coming out in the next few days. Cheers.